Hey guys, welcome back to Trendy Gadget. Today we'll talk about the M1 iPad Pro. Don't buy it. Let's head into it. The M1 iPad Pro. The iPad Pro is a line of iPad tablet computers designed, developed and marketed by Apple Incorporated. It was released in November 2015 and was the first of its kind. The iOS and iPad OS mobile operating systems are installed on them. Current generation comes in two screen sizes, each with 5 internal NVMe storage capacities to choose from. And more recently, Apple unveiled the M1 iPad Pro, which is even better. The new iPad Pro sounds almost like a Mac in tablet form, but you might be fine with what you have until Apple improves its software. The latest iPads from Apple now have the same processors and expansion ports as the Macs. They're also about the same price. The 2021 iPad Pros push Apple's hardware into territory that, on paper, looks indistinguishable from the high-performance Macs of the previous 6 months, especially now that they're all used to M1 chips. So why would I advise most people to hold off on purchasing these devices? First and foremost, I have yet to hold or review the new iPad Pros. However, after considering what they're offering and at what cost, it's clear that most people don't require them. Perhaps you should wait and think about it as well. Also, make sure to write your thoughts in the comment section.
That's right. The M1 chip is not just in the Mac, it's now in iPad Pro, and it's gonna blow you away.
Lower cost iPads do almost everything you need in a tablet. If you're only using an iPad or iPad-like activities for movies, games, email, Zoom, etc., a basic iPad will suffice. Depending on the model, these can cost up to $300. The iPad Air from the last fall is excellent. The iPad mini is a great device. All of these can be used to draw with a pencil stylus, although only the iPad Air works with a newer pencil too. All of these are compatible with a wide range of keyboards, mice, and trackpads. Aside from the Magic Keyboard and Pencil 2, the new iPad Pro doesn't come with any new accessories. None of these tasks necessitate the use of an iPad Pro. The iPad Pro is far more powerful, has a better display, and is expected to have a better front-facing camera for Zoom and other video calls. However, its configuration and accessory options almost guarantee that you'll be easily spending $1,000 or more. You can get close to $2,000 if you add a keyboard, a pencil, and possibly 5G. Sure, if you know what an iPad Pro could do for your creative workflow, or if you use specific pencil-oriented graphic tools. If you're thinking about using it as a computer, keep in mind that iPad OS has limitations.
Maybe you just do art for fun. I would err on not getting this and getting the 2020 model at the most.
We don't know how much Apple will unleash iPad OS in the future. The hardware and performance of the iPad Pros have always been top-notch. Inputs and operating system have been the major stumbling blocks. In 2018, Apple added USB-C to the iPad Pro, but it didn't work with many common USB-C accessories at first. It's still not working. Adding Thunderbolt to the iPad sounds fantastic, but how flexible will it be compared to a Mac? And how many docks will it support? Similarly, the iPad Pro M1 support for higher resolution monitors is limited by iPad OS's ability to support external monitors. Currently, iPad OS only allows monitors to work with a select number of apps. Otherwise, the iPad display is simply mirrored. It will make sense for Apple to update iPad OS in the next version and discuss it at the June WWDC. But how can we be certain that this will happen? The M1 iPad Pro should theoretically be able to transform into a Mac if it uses the same hardware as the new Macs. Apple, on the other hand, has yet to reveal this plan in this regard. Meanwhile, an iPhone-like user interface, limited multitasking, and inflexible file storage continue to limit iPad OS. The previous iPad Pro is still really good. Again, the speed benchmarks for the 2020 iPad Pro and even the 2018 iPad Pro are comparable to laptops. There are excellent displays, speakers, and microphones available. If you need it, the 2020 model already has LiDAR for 3D scanning and augmented reality. According to Apple, the M1 iPad Pro is faster on paper, but the practical difference is likely to be the equivalent of next year's iPhone versus last year's version. If you bought one in the last few years, you probably won't need this upgrade. As a high-speed, long-battery laptop, the M1 MacBook Air, for example, is practically flawless. Despite the lack of a touchscreen or other tablet features, it performs admirably. I say this because one of the M1 Macs could be yours for the same price or less as the iPad Pros. In that case, you could use an M1 Mac for work and a more basic iPad for entertainment if you already have one.
Overall, still, the iPad Pro is easily my favorite tablet again, and it's not really close.
Conclusion: for years, I've wished for a device that could be both a Mac and an iPad, and could meet all my requirements. The M1 iPad Pro appears to have all the necessary hardware, but that doesn't mean Apple is ready to merge the product lines completely. If you're hoping to see that happen, be cautious about purchasing a new product based solely on its potential. That said, I'm really excited to see how it works, but if you're on the fence or just bought something else, take a deep breath and relax. You're alright. What do you think about the M1 iPad Pro? Do you want to buy it? Let us know in the comment section. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.